I believe that in 18 months, we're going to be on our way into, if not already in, the roaring 20s. I do believe that. I think we're going to kind of come back with some level of fierceness. I think you'll start seeing people being social in different ways. I think there's going to be more creativity. I think we're going to kind of get back to almost, everybody's almost at square one. And I think it's just going to be more about what you can offer your customer base as an operator, what kind of an experience that's totally unique and totally different than anything else that they've ever had.
In our country, the legislative changes and the Licensing Act produced almost no benefits at all. They didn't produce a cafe society, because you cannot produce a cafe society by writing some words in legislation. It doesn't happen. What makes these things happen are social changes and market forces. And as it happened at the beginning of the 2000s, the big pubcos were setting up high volume vertical drinking establishments, which were making people socialize by standing up with pints of beer in their hand. Well, now it's turned. Now in England, the big thing is street food. So we're seeing a much bigger diversity in entertainment provision.
What I can tell you about the structure of our agency, what's important, and I think for other local municipalities or people in the roles that I hold in government, is that I think it's essential that you have built trust, with your business community, with your partners. We're talking about not just the businesses, the legislators, but also the consumer base. Because when then government gives instruction, then you want to make sure everybody trusts that what you are providing is the right guidance. Unfortunately, what's happened nationally is that because we've had no real direction at the federal level, it has been the local governments that have had to stand up all these guidelines and regulations. So trust has been extremely important. And I think we worked very hard over the last few years to build that. But then you have to know how to prioritize your resources and be quick to change and to be nimble, because these 18 different directives have forced us to constantly change.
Our offices and our agencies and government, we've all transformed into really being a liaison to the business community and really sitting at the table to try to figure out how we can provide meaningful relief to an industry that's been severely impacted.
I think the spaces are changing for now anyways. People are being approved for, alcohol consumption areas. There's a lot of outdoor spaces now being used, and which were never used before for alcohol consumption, which is really exciting and really fun. We have some beautiful parks here and beautiful places people can go, but then we want to make sure they're safe and that the people that are, taking those carry-out products to that area remain safe. One thing that we're doing right now, just to prepare, is we've created a state certification for those types of environments and those people that are working in those environments that aren't used to dealing with alcohol. They didn't grow up thinking, oh, I'm going to go bartender, I'm going to work in the hospitality industry, or they never had a job in hospitality. They went to work for parks. So we're educating them virtually. We've created a training. We're educating people that are working in the Revenue Authority that are now running golf courses with alcohol that weren't planning on doing that before. So the people that normally wouldn't be that target audience being trained and educated, we're hoping, I think we're going to end up training 600 people in the next 2 months.
I think that both in terms of encouraging the built environment moving forward, we need to be more strategic about where we placing, and especially where are we mandating traditional retail activity. But then there's a lot of implications in terms of vacant spaces too. And there's so many interesting things being done around the country in terms of vacant space activation and pop-ups and creative uses and affordable retail spaces and things like that. I think that there's going to be more opportunity to be creative than ever before. And how do we reimagine how are we going to use spaces, especially if there's higher vacancy rates than we've seen in retail and office spaces, and especially spaces that can't easily be converted to other uses such as residential.
As a result of these more sidewalk seating for restaurants. And so that's really good for people with mobility challenges who now have ramps. But from a person with a visual impairment, one of the things is that I can't see if they've now blocked off a road. And so I think it gets really more important for those wayfinding mobile apps, such as Google Maps or a map that I'm using now called Good Maps. It's important that these type of mapping systems or wayfinding systems are aware of road closures or sidewalk closures so that we know that we're not going to be walking into somebody's meal or into a barrier that previously 6 months ago wasn't there. And that because we often get used to our own routes. And now, 6 months later, we haven't been out on the roads. There may be a whole new structure. And that's why it's really important for us to make sure that that's indicated in the different mobile apps that we're using, and also on the website. So let people know that we are now blocking off these roads. So that really comes down to those downtown associations. So really be kind of being cognizant of that and being aware of updating that information as and when they have that information.
I think once things really start up again, if we're looking at fire occupancy issues and having to count people, we'll either have to extend our hours or extend our days in order to make sure that we don't miss out on venues because we're not doing as many per night.
I think it's really interesting to look at RHI and where it's gone in terms of broadening its reach. Instead of diving deep and focusing on a very narrow subject matter, it's taken and embraced a really broad subject area, in this case, the nighttime economy, and all the different players and aspects that are involved in that, from law enforcement to local elected officials to local businesses to service providers and everything that goes with it. At first glance, when you walk into a bar or nightclub in a nightlife district on a Friday or Saturday night, it might seem like a simple task, just going to the door and ordering your favorite beverage. But there's really a lot more that goes into that. And with the evolution we've seen in cities and also in other areas around the country with mixed-use districts, with folks allocating their entertainment dollars to different things, I think it's been really helpful to have RHI there to kind of look and examine some of these practices that are going on, determine if there are good ways to do them, and then call upon issue experts in those fields to really dig in and identify ways that small businesses can do well and do right.